In this lesson, you'll learn how Power BI visuals actually work and why understanding aggregations, which is sum, average, count, and how do you break down the aggregation is critical for building effective reports. We'll create a donut chart step by step, then we explore formatting options and how to simplify visuals to improve clarity and user experience. Let's dive in.
Let's start with the donut chart. I also want you to provide one quick insight into report building as a general rule. Once you start to understand all the visuals follow some general principle, which is what do they do? They allow you to aggregate the information, and once you have done it, it allows you to break down the information. What do I mean by this? Let's pick any visual. For now, you don't need to follow me. Just understand it as a concept, and then I will give you some time to play with it. So let's say I use this matrix, right? Whenever you pick any visual, you have some fields to populate. In case of matrix, we have rows, we have columns, and we have values, correct? When I pick a column chart, it changes to 5 actually. Axis, x-axis, y-axis, legend, small multiples, and tooltips. Generally speaking, your first 3 fields or maybe first 2 fields are important. Once you know how to use it, your visual will populate. Now, one of the field will actually aggregate the value. What do I mean by aggregate? Let's say sum. One of the fields will sum the value. If I use the matrix, in these tabs, what will aggregate the value? What tab will aggregate the value? Is it rows, columns, or values?
Values.
Correct. And in values, if I put revenue, it just gives me total sum. Once a value has been aggregated, your other 2 tabs will break it down. What do I mean by break it down? If I go into, if I bring my product type and I drop inside rows, your revenue is now broken down by product type. If I go inside, let's say status or urgent, I put it inside columns. See this? It further breaks it down by urgency, yes or no, and product type. You can almost take this understanding and apply it to any visual. Let's see how it works for a bar chart. I close it. I have, let's use a column chart. Now I have a column chart. I have x-axis, y-axis, and legend. One of these 3 fields will aggregate the value. Which one is it? Let's say I don't know. I start with revenue because that's my numerical field and I can aggregate a numerical field. I drop it inside x-axis. See, nothing happens. It does not show anything. I drop it inside legend, nothing happens. As soon as I drop it in the right place, it suddenly shows me an aggregate. That's how you know this is the right field which aggregates. I'm telling you because as a new user of Power BI, you might not be familiar with how do you use different visuals. Once it aggregates, your x-axis and legend will break it down. I go inside my city. Let's say I put city inside x-axis, breaks it down by city. Or let's say I put it inside country, breaks it down by country, right? And then I can go inside product line, inside legend, it breaks it down by product line, right? You can see, further breaks it down. You can apply the same logic to a pie. Is a much easier one because you have your values, you put revenue inside values, aggregate, how do you want to break it down? You come to your urgent, you put that inside legend, break it down. Okay, so let's start with the donut. That's your donut. And once you have it, you can also switch across the visual, right? See this. So I hope you have your donut chart now. Please explore formatting properties. This area allows you to control formatting of a visual. How do you work with it? Have a look. There are two sections. One is a visual and the other one is a general. What do I mean? Inside your visual section, it will have formatting properties which are specific to this visual, which is your donut chart. Like you will not find these properties in bar, for example. But inside general, you will have more generic properties like size of the visual, title of the visual, background, things which will apply across all the visuals. So your general is very standard across other visuals. Your visual will be specific to the visual. I want you to explore some properties, chop and change. See what I've done? I've turned the legend off and I've included this legend within the slice itself. It just increases the space for me. So see if you can do it. Explore the properties, see if you can find an option, how would you achieve it, and feel free to experiment with other formatting properties too. Your report does not have to look like my report exactly. So feel free to just explore things and play around with formatting properties. Very intuitive, very self-explanatory. Turn things off, turn it on, change values, and see the behavior. And if there is a specific question in your mind, I want my visual to look like this, how do I achieve it? That's what I want you to ask from me. Once you are familiar with how do you work with format section of one visual, the same knowledge will translate to other visual. It's very consistent across visuals. So spend some time with one visual.
Okay, cool. I just want to know, what does the overflow text do?
Oh yeah. So here you will have overflow text. Where did you see it in?
It's in the details,
Yeah.
detail labels.
See this overflow text? Something like this. It allows it to overflow. See, otherwise it just like the text should actually flow over the visual. Because even if you increase the size, let's see this? If you turn it off, it just vanishes because now it
Okay,
does not allow to overflow.
thanks.
No problem. And also see one more thing. On that question, if I turn it off, if I turn off the overflow, see this appears, but if I will decrease the size, it should disappear. But see, it does not disappear like this. Okay, let's go on to the next visual. Come here. I will open this one. I want you to create this visual and format it in a way it's already formatted. This is your column chart, revenue by order method type. So when you will create this visual, it will have some of its default formatting. And you will notice that I have removed a lot of things from a default visual to make it simpler and noise free. So I will give you 2 minutes to figure it out, and then I'll show you some of the options that I've used to make my visual look like this. Okay, have a look on my screen now. I go back. I create a simple column chart. I drop order method type in x-axis, and I drop revenue inside y-axis. So I have order method type by revenue. First thing that I do is, don't really need this thing, because if I already have a title, don't really need this, right? So I go to my formatting. This is my x-axis. I go inside x-axis and I turn the title off. That's my title of x-axis. Turn it off. And similarly, I can turn off the title for y-axis. I can go inside y-axis and turn the title off. Also, I can put some data labels on top, right? Now these data labels are in billion. So if I want to change, what should I say? Change the display units. I can change it to millions. So see how you have one option within one option you have another option and then you have another option. So just be comfortable with this hierarchical nature of your formatting. So once I have my data labels right here, I don't really need this part. I don't really need my y-axis value, so I can turn it off. So I can have more space. I can go inside my y-axis and I can turn the values off, right? So my values are gone. Okay, so now we have two visuals to start with. If you're happy with your visuals and it does not have to look like mine, but you know how these options work, just give me a thumbs up if we go to the second stage.